hello and welcome to a Let's Play series. That's right, we've talked about doing this. Might have listened in on the latest episode of the podcast, kind of mentioned possibly doing this, and the decision was made to, yes, we're going to do this. We have some Let's Play series that we've been doing for our patrons, but kind of wanted to put something else out there that everyone could enjoy, and so I figured this would actually be a pretty decent game to try this out, see if it works, see the reception to it. So yeah, we are doing a Let's Play of The Executive, Movie Industry Tycoon. That's right. Now, for those that have listened, you guys know that one of my favorite games of all times is the movies, you know, developed by Lionshead Studios, published by Microsoft. One of the great games of all time, in my opinion. That lineage of the movies and black and white, and Lionshead was really cooking, and of course that's lost to time. I'm pretty sure you can go back and play it on some older versions of Windows. I've debated about doing that because I love that game so much, but just haven't had the time. But then The Executive came out, and The Executive is kind of like the movies, but also nothing like the movies. It's actually more of kind of like a clicker game similar to Game Dev Tycoon. I think it works basically exactly like Game Dev Tycoon, where you're going through a bunch of different screens and options and min-maxing and optimizing in order to create the best movie possible. Be the best Hollywood studio if you can get there. So I want to jump into this and see how this is going. I'll talk a little bit about how this game works. Again, I've been kind of playing it, messing around with it, trying to figure out how some things go. So I'm excited to jump in here to see how this Let's Play series ends up working and see exactly how awful I am at this game. Yeah, so let's get started. Let's start a new game. And so we have some different options here. Your industry, you can choose to be Hollywood. You can also choose Chinawood. You know, a great Chinese movie industry. I'm curious as to if Nollywood or Bollywood will eventually be added to this game. But we're going to start in Hollywood. I do have a mod on here that actually changes the games. The game tries to be cute and meany with some of its naming, so instead of saying, you know, like Disney Studios, it'll be like Visney Studios or something like that. And it's cute, but not quite cute enough in order to make that work. So I have a mod that actually makes those fake industry or fake movie studio distributor names the real ones, as well as the name for actors, because they do like some weird stuff, right? So like Denzel Washington would be Wenzel Dashington. Like, that's just a little annoying for me. So use the mod to do that. But let's pick our difficulty. This impacts our starting amount of money, and as well as our theme pool. You think of theme as basically like the theme of your story, of your movie. There's different ones you have to discover. Again, if you think about it like Game Dev Tycoon mechanics, you have themes of games that you buy. You have to unlock those. This is the same concept. So we have easy here, where you start with 30 mil and a theme pool of 14. Medium, you start with 30 mil, but you owe 33 million, and you have a starting theme pool of 10. So your theme pool gets smaller, and obviously you keep going up. Sandbox, all these different things. I'm gonna go with medium. I tried easy, and easy is actually really easy. So, and I've also played medium, and medium is, I think, kind of easy. Now watch me go bankrupt as I say that. But let's start there because I think it makes for a more interesting and compelling series. So we'll start with 30 mil, but we've got 33 mil in debt that we pay every month. And then our starting theme pool size is 10. And it's RNG, I believe, as to which theme pools you start with, or which themes you start with. So let's get going there. Boom, 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 boom. Music's not terrible. Again, I don't know how big the dev team is for this game. It's a nice little game. So now we got to pick our studio's insignia, our logo, and obviously our CEO. So we don't have the opportunity to import custom logos. That may eventually happen, and if so, you know, the Thoughts on Players logo is going up there. You can rando it. It'll pick different ones for you. If I can think of one that's maybe the closest to our logo, I don't know. Oh, let's go with this. This looks kind of cool. And let's just call it Players Studios. Huh? Players Studios. Now let's pick our character, obviously, I'm going with the guy here. And just like our CEO for Game Dev Tycoon, I mean, it's the meme. It's the meme. I have no choice. Let's keep going. Those of you that may be watching this and don't know the meme, I apologize. But it's the meme. I have to. So, welcome to your brand new office. You are a budding movie producer with big dreams and a tight budget. Starting solo, it's up to you to build your film empire from scratch. Create hits, manage talent, and take the movie industry by storm. Your journey to cinematic greatness starts now. I just was reminded of one of the elements of the movies was the fact that your actors could basically create or have addictions, and you had to help them with those addictions. I don't think you have any of that as far as I've played in this game, but that was a great element of that game. Please bring back remaster the movies. Someone do it. Someone do it. All right. So we are Black Eye, and let's get started here. We got to release our first movie in theaters and generate a movie report. So we'll kind of go through these icons as we use them, and the first we're going to do is new movie. So this brings you to the pre-production screen. This is where you name your movie, you pick your base budget. In the beginning, and I think through much of the game, as far as I've played it, base budget is going to be small. So let's start with a small budget here. That tells us that this is around what our movie is going to cost us to create, 2.8 mil. You have your genres. These, I believe, are pretty static in regards to you have access to all of them. Maybe? And I think it's mostly just the themes you unlock. So let's see here. We're in the 70s. What should we go with here in the 70s? Now, I love the 70s. I love 70s films. When I think of the 70s, I mostly think of dramas and thrillers. Crime, of course. But I don't know. Maybe let's look at our themes first before we pick a genre. So here's our themes, and we're starting out with 10 of them. So again, these are the different things that you start out with, and that the theme of your movie, what like what it's about. So artists, this can be like a music artist, right? So think of a bio like Ray or something like that. This is your disasters, like your 2012s. This is your Marley and Me, right? This is your dystopia, I don't know, Maze Runner, Hunger Games, something. This is your gangster. This is your Scarface. This is your Godfather. So I could possibly just go ahead and make the greatest movie ever made with the Godfather. This is Ghost, Heist, Monster. We get all of that, obviously, right? So I've talked about like genre, like drama and thriller and crime and gangsters right here. I could make the perfect movie that I would love. So of course I'm not going to do that at all. I think we're going to do, let's see, we start in January. It's going to take us 8 months to make it. That puts us kind of near Halloween time, doesn't it? So maybe we go with a monster movie. Or maybe a zombie movie. Let's go to zombie movie, huh? So zombies. And let's see here. What do we think works well? What works well? So you see this little tab right here where you're looking at your genres? This will change as you get to know more about what themes fit with what genres, right? And you can begin to curtail what you create to make sure it hits those nodes. Some things are self-explanatory, so I think zombies and horror kind of fit. You see here, there's a breakdown of these different stats. So your genre, your theme, the rating, the affinity, again, is how well do these things work together? What are some different elements of this that may work well or not work well together? And then your different information as far as your talent. So the rating we're going to go for, I think we're going to go for rated R, which puts us in a niche, right? That's very small. That's a small audience. But I think as far as our first movie, let's just get our first movie out of the way. Let's get this dump out of the way, and then we can really start rolling. So let's look at our directors. So directors have different stats, obviously gender, age, domestic popularity. So this is how well a movie or how well a director's appeal is domestically, right? So if they have a strong domestic number, that means that when you release domestic movies, they have a higher level or a higher probability of performing well. International popularity, when you start releasing movies internationally, you can't really do that right now, but as time progresses and you can, what's their international kind of popularity and impact? How much the critics like them? That's your critics' popularity. And then script affinity is basically how comfortable or how how well the talent works with the script. And this basically indicates what's the ceiling they can reach, the floor and the ceiling for how well they perform with the movie. If you can, I can actually go on and explain these other ones. So the cost is basically how much you're paying them, and participations. Participations is basically if you work in the movie hour, have a little bit of movie industry experience here. You think about them as points, producer points, points on the back end. What's the percentage, or what's the points that they get as far as, you know, what the movie grosses and what the movie makes. So for instance, Henry Coster, we pay him $40K, but he has half a percentage, so he'll end up making a little bit more than that $40K, right? Some have 0, and some have, you know, as you go on, you see like here 1.5%, different things like that. The thing that's most important is, especially first off, as you like build up your reputation, is going to be script. So we look at this, not a lot of super strong script. I mean, yeah, they like the script, but we have to look at domestic as well. So we got a couple of points here in regards to, hey, domestic, but he's much more liked by the critics. So let's go with Guy Green here as our director. Now let's pick our lead role. Now again, we're going with the same thing. We're going with script affinity. And let's see here. I feel like it's more on brand. A lot of those horror movies back in the day, I think even in horror movies in general, the females are more so kind of the leads in those for some, I think, good and bad reasons. But let's go with Paula Prentice, 32. Again, the domestic's not that crazy, but not that bad with the script, but way better with critics. So this may not be a commercial success, but maybe hopefully the critics will think, well, it's not the worst thing we've seen. So we've got a horror zombie movie. What do we want to call this? Let's call this The Sleeping Dead. If I want to invert it, The Sleeping Alive. That's dumb. Let's just call it Zombies. Let's keep our creativity minimal at this point. Black Guy CEO is going to be head of the production team. You can add more production or more producers to your production teams, especially as your base budget grows and you produce bigger and bigger movies. Let's go next. So we're paused right now. You can see this is in queue to be produced. Let's talk about some other things with the UI here, then we can get to cracking. So this is our cash. It says your cash in all caps. So this is how much money we have on hand. This goes 0 or goes negative too much, and then boops, we're out of business, we're done. We go the ways of so many distributors. This is your prestige. It impacts the type of talent you can hire and the type of distributors that will eventually work with you. We'll get to distributors or talk about them when we get there. And this is research points. So again, this is very much a node and on brand with something like Game Dev Tycoon. Your research points, how you get those, that impacts how much you can train your staff, including your CEO. It impacts the themes of the movies. You have to spend research points to research those themes, as well as other, they call them premium features, and we'll go into that as we begin production on the movie. But additional aspects and features of the films, you can add to them to make them better. And you gain these research points by making the movies, generating movie reports, which are basically post-mortems of your movies, how well they performed, the affinities you discovered, why they failed, why they succeeded, and then obviously other certain objectives they have here. So we're in pre-production. We're right now paused. Let's just click play to get this going at a regular speed. And yeah, you hear the phone ringing, you hear the typewriter going. He's cooking. Black Guy's cooking. We went up a research point here to 11. So right now we're 680K in on this. And of course, we're going to always be at a loss until the movie releases. And then hopefully we get into the profit area. So we're at the production planning screen. So this is the first instance where we're exposed to different things. So you have these levers. These are different elements or components of your movie. And you have to basically decide which one of these is the most important. What's the best balance for the theme and genre of the movie? And then these are the premium features I was talking about. So these are additional elements you can add to your movie to increase the production value of it. Think about it that way. Have our stats over here. So when we think about a horror zombie movie, what are we thinking? We're thinking writing? Nah. So you see base here, budget allocation. Your total budget allocation must be between 85 and 100%. Your insights range. So these right here are ranges. Obviously like 20%. This is probably 15, then 10%. As you make more movies and gain more insights, the range, this dark gray, will become light gray, and the range will shrink because you'll have a more accurate understanding of where each lever needs to be in order to optimize the production of a movie. So I think writing probably 20%. I've not really seen a horror zombie movie that's had strong writing since maybe just the first season of The Walking Dead. And so we're gonna go, let's go 45% on our costume and makeup and 35% on our set design. I think that's where we need to be. So we got him cooking again. We're 1.28 mil into this. We're cooking. He's writing the script. You know what I'm saying? We're cooking again. We got another point in our research points category. Not another one. And you see our money is going down as well. When we reach every stage of production, we spend a little bit more to get into that stage and get out of that stage. Alrighty, so we're at the post-production planning. So it's been written, it's been shot. You may be saying, I didn't see it get shot. Well, that happens in the background, in the ether, in the abstract. It's not like the movies where you actually get to see them make the movie. That's one of the most compelling things about that game. Again, please bring it back. But anyway, let's see here. I don't think the editing is all that important, but horror movies tend to have stronger editing than most. I think special effects is where we need to just crank it up more. So I'm going to leave both these 30 and go 40 on special effects. Let's click next. We are filming. Oh, now we're filming. Yeah, okay. So but as you can see, what does filming look like, right? I mean, if you look at the little kind of screen they have set up here, this camera's looking right at Black Eye. Alrighty, so this is our distribution screen. So eventually, when you develop or unlock a sales department, you can assign salespeople to help negotiate these deals for you. But as you see, there's 4 different types of distribution types. There's third-party distribution, domestic. So we have a third-party distribute our movie domestically in the U.S. Self-distribution, where we can distribute it ourselves domestically in the U.S. And then the same for worldwide. And that's when that international component, that international score comes into play. Right now, it's just, this is the only option we have, and we don't have a salesperson to help us with this yet, so it's just that, and we're kind of just left to the fate of whatever deal we get. We show them the tape, we show them the movie, we say, hey, you know, it's like I guess it's like the American film market, right? We take it to a distributor and say, hey, this is what we got. What can you give us? Alrighty. So we've got 2 distributors interested. So you'll see their names, AIP, United Artists, with their logos and cool things like that. So this is the distribution fee. So this is your revenue split, right? So AIP is saying we'll give you, we'll take 45%. United Artists is saying we're going to take 50-50. This is their genres, their favorites at the time. So theirs is action and sci-fi. So if we were to fit one of these genres, we would get an additional boost. So it tells you overperform at the box office, and you can perform adequately if they're a generalist. Neither of these are generalists because this would be colored in green. But we also, the other thing that matters also is prestige level. So the higher the prestige, the higher the probability of box office. The other thing we need to look at here is the release date. So AIP wants to release this in August during the summer. You want this to be a nice summer horror film? That's great. United Artists wants to release it in November. This is around award season and Thanksgiving, right? If we click into details, each of these have a different details thing. You can see additional movies they have planned to release. So they have 2 movies, Woodstock and Multiple Maniacs. One is a comedy, a crime comedy. That's interesting. And this is a biography, and that's it. This is rated R, rated PG. If we go back and look at what United Artists has, they don't have anything. So they might be the most ideal option for us because they're releasing during a holiday season. They have higher prestige. They take a little bit more money, but the hope is that we also make more money. So we're going to click next. And now we are in the support domestic marketing, time to release. You see 2.48 we arrive at that final dollar amount for the production of this that's happening. But as you can see, he's Z. So what that means is this is all happening, and again, in the ether. Black Guy's got nothing to do. So what should Black Guy do? Well, we can't really do anything yet, and I don't want to step into the area of, like, you know, unlocking. We can't really get a salesperson until we unlock that department. But you want to know what he can do is he can start a new movie. But we're going to wait before we do that. We're going to wait because I actually want him to generate a movie report after the movie goes to the theaters. So we're going to let him kind of just relax. He's maybe just typing up some, brainstorming some stuff on the typewriter, looking around real paranoid. Maybe there's a gremlin or a ghoul somewhere just creeping around the office. Disheveled pet posters. Again, we're a small, scrappy crew of one right now. So let's see here. We're near the end. Ooh, so we got critic reviews. That kind of helps. So let's see here. Gripping narrative and talented cast, a must-see for horror enthusiasts by Diversity. I think they like Black Eye at that place. 7.0. Let me know when I can open my eyes. Terrifying by the Hollywood Writer. Well-crafted and thrilling, leaving a lasting impression by the New York era. Standout performances and powerful storytelling elevated to classic status by Rolling Rock. And 6.5, a respectable horror movie with terrifying stories. Self-love gala, not giving out as much love as we would have hoped. But let's look at this. So this kind of works like Rotten Tomatoes, right? So the avocado meter is your film critic score. The soda meter is your audience score. Ideally, we get high on both of those, but you know, sometimes it don't work that way, right? Think of Transformers. Critic score, probably -4 million. Audience score, 7 million, right? Like, it makes bukus of money. So it's out there. It's doing its theatrical run. So, ooh, look at that. We just had our first kind of intake of money. We're actually up $500,000 in profit on this. I think there's about 3 different instances of money, and then the movie, you know, nears its end of it or ends its theatrical run. So we're up 1.6 mil. You've got another that's going to happen. 1.8. Is that the last bit of change we get out of this here? It is. So this gives us a wrap of the budget. It gives us our box office performance. C for marketing, B soda meter, A affinity, D for premium features. Now we don't have any premium features unlocked yet, so that makes sense. A for competition. Remember, there were no other movies on that distributor's slate. C for trends and fatigue. That's not something we can really account for yet, but we can in the future, giving us a total score of B. I will say from my experience, it seems like rather your movie is great or it's like literal dog water, you get a total score of a B. So I don't know exactly how that works, but let's look at our financials. Domestically, we did 17.7 mil. Third-party exhibitors took 8 mil of that. Or no, the exhibitors took it. Our third-party distributor took 4.5. So that, we ended up with a net theatrical of 4.346 with a film budget of 2.48. Talent share. So remember, we had that participation. I think it was maybe just a director that took participation. So they got another 18K from that, giving us a profit of 1.8 mil. I'll take that as a first movie out the gate. And again, because we were the only movie kind of on release, it looks like in that area, we took all the money. So that's great. So you can see we accomplished the first on the list here, and we got a bunch of research points for it. The next thing I want to show is actually generating a movie report. So analytics is where you can go to run a bunch of different analytics. And these things will get unlocked later. But right now we can generate insights. You generate insights on movies that you've already created. So we have zombies. Our analyst is going to be Black Eye because he's the only person that can do anything. And let's generate some insights. Again, we'll have this just run at real time for an instance. Up here, there's certain things that happen in the world, though it's a ticker updated, right, type thing. So as he's doing that, actually, we can actually maybe hop into, no, we can't yet. We have to wait till we finish this, and then we can hop into research and see what that looks like. So he's almost done generating this. Nice. So this is our movie details report. Lets us know all this different stuff. But we also get some additional insights unlocked. So what's one insight that got unlocked? You see here pairing insights indicate compatibility between the level of your movie's genre and another characteristic. We can see here green excellent, blue good. We can see here that horror and zombies are naturally an excellent pairing, right? We already know that. But it gave us something else in regards to the importance of set design and horror. We had our set design set at 35, and it's telling us that actually your set design needs to be at least 40% or higher in order for it to meet the requisite amount of quality for this particular type of genre and theme. So now that we know that, exit out, and it's instructing us to keep rolling, we can unlock a new theme and release another movie. So I say we do that really quick before we end this first episode. So research has a bunch of different screens for it. So this is the first is business. So roles, these are different aspects of your company you can unlock. So for instance, sales, right? We can open a sales department. Your scouting is for when you're hiring new people, right? You unlock these to unlock higher levels of employees. Training, how well you can train, and then office size. And your office size dictates how many people you can actually have on staff. So I believe for this beginning office, you can maybe have 2 or 3 people. Let's exit out. Let's pause really quick. And so yeah, I think it's 1 other person you can have here. So we're going to do that eventually, right? And that sales position is probably the best one to fill, but let's look at some other stuff. So these are the premium features I was talking about. Different additional elements you can add to your movie to improve it. So for dialogue, for instance, in the production aspect, there's period writer, creates historically accurate and era-specific dialogue, right? Your set armor provides realistic weaponry and combat props, and so on and so forth. And all these things add additional value to your movie, in theory. So there's post-production, ancillaries gets unlocked down the line, but this is basically your home video entertainment, right? This is your, at first VHSs, DVDs, I'm guessing eventually streaming, like the different ways you monetize your movie outside of its theater run. And then we hit themes. So this is what I was telling us, like you see these we already have unlocked, like gangster and dystopia and dog and heist and different things like that. So it's really important to unlock these themes because you have more material to play with. You can create more interesting movies. So let's actually do that really quick. Let's unlock some themes here. And I kind of like the way that they do it, where in Game Dev Tycoon, you unlock a theme, one random theme gets, revealed that you can then possibly unlock. With this one, you pay the 30 research points to unlock 2 themes. And they give you an option of up to 4, and those are RNG'd, right? So I look at this and I say, well, the easiest ones, I think, the most obvious ones that I think would be easy to make movies out of are going to be war and space. I could do an FBI one. I could do a hacking one. You know what I'm saying? If I want to make Mr. Robot the movie, yeah, I guess. But that's a little bit more harder to conceptualize for a high concept thing than something like a war movie or a space movie. So I'm going to pick those, pick confirm, and now those movies are available for me to use, or those themes are available for me to make and use in my movies. So one thing I'm going to do here next is actually sales. We're going to unlock sales, which leaves us with 1 research point. And before we start producing another movie, I actually want to hire a salesperson. So I'm going to go to staffing. This tells us our staff right now. Black guys are only staff. We're going to go scouting. We see that sales is unlocked. The rest of them are grayed out. Campaign selection. So remember when we talked about the research here of scouting mid, senior, executive, that correlates directly with that staffing. So when we're scouting, this is all we have right now because local ads would be medium. The national ads would be, I guess, expert, and then executive, however that was. So we're doing word of mouth, and you can have up to 3 concurrent campaigns at the same time. So you can be recruiting for sales, marketing, and producer or analyst at the same time if you want. We're going to start that search, and while that's going, we're going to hit play to have that going. We're going to get started on a new movie, and so we're going to do another small movie. Genre, let's actually go and look at our themes, and maybe we use one of our new themes. So let's do a space movie that came out in the 70s. I wonder what. Let's see here. Let's do sci-fi and space. I think those naturally go well together. And let's go, what do we want to name this? Let's name this To the Star Wars. To the Star Wars. I like that. I like that. Alrighty. So let's look at this. Let's look at this here. Now we've got some people that would be really good with this script. Look at that. Critics. Oh, we got some really good ones here. Going down. Let's see, I think I like homie right here. 17, 72 with the critics, 90 with the script. Irwin Allen, he's going to be cooking. And now let's see here. Now this is where we get into. I think mostly with the stars, the domestic might matter a little more. And I really like. So Doug McClure isn't great with the script, but he's highest with the domestic right now. And I'd like for this to make a little bit more scratch. And he's really good with critics. So I think I'm going to roll with him for this. Black guy is going to be rolling with the skills. Now you see they have a target skill, which impacts the amount of those premium features we can add. You have to have at least a target of 20 for production here. My guy's at 18. You gain that skill as you create more movies and as you do more work. You just get naturally better at this. So we're going to keep doing it. So as you can also see, because he's gotten more efficient, the months are now down to 7. The money's a little bit less. So, I mean, it could be also because our talent is cheaper, but you also become more efficient the more you do this. So, alrighty. So let's find our salesperson. So we look at this. Gives us their monthly salary, their seniority, and their traits right here. And so this person I think is the best. Belinda Cruz. Let's hire her. She's hired. Alrighty. So you've got Belinda Cruz doing really kind of nothing at the moment. So let's give her something to do. So Belinda Cruz works to negotiate those sales with third-party distributors, and eventually, as you know, do more distribution deals. But what we can also do is we can also train employees. Remember that. And so these are grayed out because, again, we have to unlock those higher training categories, but we can pick base ones here. So this is self-learning. We can either have her learn 1.6 XP per month on her strongest skill, which would be trust, 1.6 on her weakest skill, which would be networking, or 0.5 on all skills. And I'm thinking I'm going to have her do all skills because she's pretty weak all around right now. And then might specialize her later on. So there we go. Alrighty. So when I think about, again, space sci-fi, I think probably set design is the most important. Let's just roll with that for right now. So, though she's not doing anything in regards to specifically her job's role, she's training, so she's still doing something. She's still getting better. Alrighty, let's see here. Let's see what Black Guy cooks up. Alrighty. I'm still going with special effects being the most important. I'm not moving really any of these because I actually feel like these all are kind of pretty important when it comes to space and sci-fi. Like, I don't really, when I think of sci-fi, I don't really think of like dumb movies. I think of pretty smart ones. So, and so far we spent 1.7 mil on it. Belinda Cruz kind of chilling for a second here. Domestic. And so here we can go sales team, we can go Belinda Cruz. Is she great at it? No, but she'll get better, right? I think she may be better at it than my CEO is. So there you go. So the movie is in post-production, also searching for a domestic partner. Domestic distributor, right? A partnership with one. So we're almost there. Is Black Guy's still working on it too, so good. Also, look, AIP's popped up here, and MGM is here. Now this is interesting, right? Because their cuts are pretty comparable, but AIP actually is looking for a sci-fi movie. MGM isn't. MGM has more prestige than AIP. AIP wants to release ours around in February around the Super Bowl and Valentine's, and MGM wants to release it around April with Easter. Let's look and see what else AIP has. Now AIP has a Clockwork Orange, which good for them. But you see, that's another sci-fi movie. So it's another movie and it's in a competing genre, which means they're going to take some of our lunch. If I go to MGM, MGM has one other movie and it's not competing with ours. So we have a better chance of being successful. So even though they're looking for our movie, they already have a movie in our genre. So that does not bode well for us. So we're going to go with MGM here and see how we do. So we've got that going. Now, Black Guy, again, not really having much to do right now in his life. I could have set him up to do some training, but there's so many other tasks he also does. Well, we'll have him doing between reports and different things, especially as we get to clicking and having more movies that we have here. So, yeah, actually, let's speed this up a little bit. Let's speed it up here. All right, look at this. Look at this. Alrighty. Alrighty, to the Star Wars. People kind of like it. Mind-blowing journey, exploring our future. It sure is, buddy. Alrighty, so this seems like it might be alright. So we've exceeded here, unlock 2 premium features via the research menu. We will eventually do that. Let's go to analytics because we can generate insights for this immediately. We'll get Black Eye on it, have him generating some insights. Belinda's doing some training. Theatrical run. See, again, it averages out to a B, 1.8. So not terrible. Not terrible. I mean, we're making money. We are making some cash. We came in second to Fritz the Cat. Interesting. And so we need to unlock 2 premium features via the research menu. Do we have the research points for that? Let's do that really quick. So let's see here. Script. I'm partial to writing because I am an aspiring writer. So let's get some subtext writing. Weaves hidden layers and deeper meaning into scenes and storytelling. I like that. But let's also do some cool stuff. So I don't know, like breakable set. We think about an action movie, like you can throw people into a desk or something like that. I like that. So let's do that. And then you know what? Let's get 2 more themes. You've got the points. Let's do 2 more themes. Coming of age, chase, werewolf business. I don't even know what a business. I mean, what? Freaking Wolf of Wall Street? Like I don't know. Coming of age. That's pretty. And then chase. You know what? Okay, coming of age and chase. I mean, werewolf eye, but let's go with those 2. All right, so that wasn't a great batch of themes, but we've got that knocked out, and now we've got our next task here to get more than 40 mil in the bank and a move to a small office. So that's next up, but we're going to have to produce a fair bit more movies before we're in a position to do that. So that will be for the next episode of this Let's Play. Please let me know what you thought of this. I know this one is running a little bit longer than I wanted, but kind of explaining a lot of things about the game. The next episodes will be a little bit shorter, but yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one.